Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people from the time period of February 14th to February 20th, 2021. And so this is just a little disclaimer. I am new to posting my readings to YouTube. I've been doing this for 6 or 7 years now, around that time period, and I just haven't posted anything before, so I'm sorry if the video or audio quality is a little bit off. Sorry if I say words wrong or misspeak a little bit. This Mercury retrograde is really getting to me, especially in past videos. If you watched any of the other ones I've posted, I just like to say words wrong, so bear with me on that aspect. And the painting in the background is not the best because I am a tarot reader, not an artist. So just bear with me, and we're doing with what we can. The setup will change in the future, and hopefully you guys like this reading, and I will do my best to provide you with a accurate and clear message from Spirit. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first card that I pulled for you guys is the theme for the week, which is Trust the Timing. And it is, trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Okay? And the energy you should keep within yourself this week, or try to keep within yourself this week, is the energy of the cow, which is give with unconditional love and grace, which I think is very appropriate for the Taurus reading, because you guys are the bull. And the advice from Spirit for this week is, what do you need to release, or the waning moon. Oops, sorry. All right, so let's get into it. So right away, I got the message of you guys may be in a little bit of an uncertain place within your life. You may be wondering if things are happening for you in the right way, or if the right things are happening in your life for you to continue on your path. And Spirit is trying to tell you that with the Trust the Timing card, that things happen when they are supposed to. Divine timing is a very real thing, and Spirit will put people, places, opportunities, and things in your life when you are meant to have them. If you're feeling a little bit of a lack of that right now, maybe Spirit is trying to tell you to get more in touch with yourself and re-embody that energy of the Empress card. When I was reading the definition for the cow, I really got Empress or Queen of Pentacle vibes, which is extremely Taurus. And it says here to give with unconditional love and grace, but it also spoke a lot on embodying the true feminine side of yourself and that nurturing, motherly energy that Tauruses naturally embody. Male or female, doesn't matter. And that this can apply to men as well, and not necessarily in an extremely feminine way, but there are feminine traits that men themselves who wouldn't consider themselves feminine can tap into, like artistry or crafting or some type of passion, or like a love of pleasure is a very Vesuvian thing that you Taurus people are very good at embodying, like just having a good time, having good food, living in luxury, buying the more expensive things. Not to get into that whole aspect of things, but Spirit is trying to tell you to reconnect with who you truly are at this time, because things may be a little bit unsteady and uncertain, and that is the energy you need to still keep. Even if people aren't as understanding as you are, maybe if people aren't as kind as you are, Spirit's trying to remind you to still be kind to them, even if it is a little difficult. And this is a good time right now to really reconsider who and what you want in your life and what you need to release at this time, because Spirit is trying to open up new doors for you at this moment. But I think that they really want you to reconnect with yourself and see exactly who and what you want on this new journey with you in the first place. And if things aren't lining up according to the plan you have set out for yourself, then maybe it's time to slowly or abruptly, I mean, it's up to you, start the process of letting go of these things and letting them exit your life in a peaceful and calm, kind manner. Spirit's still trying to remind you, though, that it's not the time to cause any uprising or start any new crazy things at this moment to get your life where you need it to be. It will get there in time, and just let it flow and let it happen, you know? Taurus, it's just a waiting game right now, I think, for you guys, and it's a good time to reconnect with yourself and really see what matters still to you. And if things aren't aligning with who you are and what you really truly enjoy and what you need in your life to be happy, then it is time to release those things. But don't do so in a mean and harsh way, I suppose. Okay, so now I'm going to get into a Celtic or Celtic cross spread, however that word is said, or however you say it. And it's just going to be about a general situation going on in your guys' lives this week. I'm not asking about anything in particular, but I'm sure a particular situation will come to mind as we're doing this. So the first card I got was the Ten of Pentacles, or the Ten of Earth in this deck. Also, this deck is a little worn down and beat up. It's only because I've had it for years and years. It's well loved, well used, and well trusted. So, sorry about that, but I love this deck and I'm going to keep using it. Okay, so for your guys' challenge, we have the Nine of Air, or the Nine of Swords. And what's going on below this, ooh, Lord Jesus. What's going on below the surface for you guys, or on your subconscious mind right now, we're just going to take this card because it flew out first, is the Sun. And what has happened in the recent past for Taurus to be in this situation? We have the Lovers. And then now, what is the energy that Taurus is putting onto the table? What is that energy people can see Taurus putting on, or their hopes, fears, and dreams in the situation? The conscious energy is the Queen of Air, or the Queen of Swords. And what is the most likely outcome for Taurus people in the future? We have the Five of Wands reversed. Okay. So, Taurus. With the Ten of Pentacles right in the middle, I can sense some type of financial or material security within you guys right now. Maybe you have a decent amount of money saved up, or you have a nice house or something of that kind, or something that you're really enjoying where it comes to your security and stability. We have the Ten of Cups that came out for that too. So maybe you're feeling just very blessed when it comes to the things you have in your life, or the people you have in your life, even the relationships you have. Yep, got the Ten of Pentacles again. So right now, Taurus, you're a very blessed individual. I can see that. Maybe you can't see that, but you are. You have a lot of things going for you at this time, and a lot of abundance, either now or coming shortly to you in the future, in ways that you did not expect, I believe. It's a lot of benevolent energy around you guys right now. Maybe you are embodying yourselves at this moment, like we just talked about in the reading before. You're definitely getting more in tune with your emotions, I think, and learning how to feel more openly. But with the Nine of Air being your challenge, I do sense some type of anxiety or stress. Maybe it could involve the building of this life. Maybe you're feeling a little bit worn down or a little bit unconfident when it comes to the way things are going right now. Maybe you don't see all the benefits and blessings or all the progress you have made because you're not exactly where you want to be yet, or you have just come out of a situation in the past that could have been a little bit of a triggering issue for you, or something a little bit unsettling, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not upsetting, but whatever, you know what I mean. Something a little bit unnerving, that's the word I was looking for, happened to you either in your personal life or in a way of thinking that may have made you drop in your confidence. I'm going to jump back to the Lovers really quickly before we go any further and ask why this is on the table for you guys. We have the Father of Wands. So why is the table the Lovers? So we have the Two of Cups that flew right out. One more card. We already have a lot of cards on the table, but I want a lot of insight for you guys. We got the Lovers again. So I have a feeling that you guys have a relationship that you are working on improving, definitely. And I feel like it's coming from a new sense of passion and excitement for this person. This may be a really, really powerful connection between you and another person. How the Lovers popped up twice and the Two of Cups. I feel like this is a very strong relationship for sure. You may live with this person. You may have a very strong sense of security and stability with this person. And I feel like they are helping you in your current situation right now, and I feel like they are the source of your happiness and this abundance in a way. They may not be. This also could just be good health or a good attitude towards life and romance in general. You could have a very healthy love life even if you are single. You could be exploring your options and it's all kind of working out for you in that way, or you really don't need to explore your options and you love yourself so much and you have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to like your romantic love life, where you don't really need someone else to benefit you because you have all of that within yourself. But still, with that Tower reverse and the way that you're feeling, I feel like maybe some situation was brought to light with the Seven of Cups in reverse, or maybe your thinking went from delusional and dreamy to all of a sudden clear, sharp, and focused on a certain problem or issue that you may have been ignoring in the past. I feel like even though your love life is going extremely well in this spread, or this love in general you have going on for you, I feel like there's still... Okay, we got the Wheel of Fortune. I'll just show you that real quick. I feel like there's still this, like, with the Queen of Swords energy, you're being very decisive and calculated and logical and witty and not necessarily looking at life through rose-colored glasses anymore. You're looking at life in a realistic sense. But I have a feeling that you're still kind of nervous because a Queen of Swords is always... not always expecting the worst, but prepared for the worst to happen to them. I feel like they're very, again, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, one second. Okay. They're very good at finding fault in any type of situation a little bit too quickly. And they're also very perceptive. So maybe the Queen of Swords in you right now is picking up on the little details, or maybe the overlooked things that you may have been not noticing in the past, and viewing them in a new light that may disrupt what is going on in your life currently. That may be why you're a little bit nervous, because everything is going well and you don't really want to rock the boat or shake the table in any way, because something has been benefiting you greatly, and maybe the thing that has been worrying you will upset a little bit, or upset people a little bit, or change the outcome of your future, or what you thought your future was going to be. So speaking of your future, I am going to get a couple cards on that Five of Wands reversed and why it is there for Taurus. Okay, we got Judgment in reverse. We're going to pull one more card. And we got the Eight of Swords. Okay, so I do see a new issue arising in the future when it either comes to the way you feel about yourself, the things in your home, or the structure you have built for yourself make it a little bit rocky not necessarily in a bad way, but there may be challenges presented, and they may have arisen because of your worries and your negative thinking in that aspect, or you found a fault because you were really looking for one with this Queen of Swords. I feel like things were maybe going a little bit too well for you and you really were happy, but on the outside you're like, something must not be right because things are going too well, let me dig. And maybe you do find something to dig at, but it is a product of your own, I'm just going to say it, insecurity and indecision when it comes to how you really feel about the situation you're in, or the predicament that you brought yourself to is something that you knew it was coming, but you didn't really want it to happen like that, or the package it was presented to you in was a totally unexpected thing that makes you incredibly nervous and thrown off guard completely, and now you have no clue what to do. So take that as it resonates, but I hope that this kind of helped you guys a little bit, because I felt like that was a very clear message. I could be wrong. I have no Taurus placements, but that felt right, I guess. So, okay. Let us just move on to the next thing, which is going to be the He Said, She Said romance spread. And I do these a certain way. I will explain as I go. So now I'm picking 2 cards, one for you, Taurus placements, and one for the person we're asking about romantically. The card that just flipped up is the Hedgehog, which we just got for Capricorn. And it is be a magnet for light, love, and joy. Alright, and then we're going to pick a card for the other person or you, depending on which one resonates with you more. You can pick how this works for you. I am not the one to decide that for you, even if I may have my own insights on things. That is still up to you. Trust your own intuition. Okay, so we have the Gray Squirrel, which is find new ways of solving problems. That's the other person. Okay, so now we are going to start with like a general overview of what's going on in each person's lives. It could have to do with each other romantically, or it may not. We will see. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it does, because this is a romance spread, but sometimes it doesn't, because, you know, there's more to life than just romantic love. So sometimes there's other things on the brain. Okay, so for the Hedgehog, we got the 2 of Cups. So it is love related. Also, if you can hear that beeping in the background, the construction, wherever that's coming from, because it's like the middle of winter. Oh, it's probably the garbage yeah, it's probably the garbage truck. Don't mind that. Alright. And we also have the Father of Wands. So the King of Wands. We're just gonna keep shuffling till we get that last card for what's going on in the Hedgehog's life currently at the moment. Okay, we got the 9 of Wands as well. Okay, so now I'm going to be pulling a card for how the Hedgehog is coming at the Gray Squirrel at this current moment, if they're coming at them at all, and in what way and what they're bringing to the table. Okay, we got the 5 of Pentacles. Oops. Moving things again. Still getting used to this tripod. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. Very interesting. Okay, so the way that I feel about the Hedgehog is I can sense that the Hedgehog has developed a sense of either self-love or love for the Gray Squirrel that they have not given up on, or they have been pursuing for a very long time. And I feel like it's been a long journey, because this Knight of Wands really kind of looks like just a long stairway up to heaven, you know, where you've probably been working at this forever, but things don't seem to change, or, you know, you don't seem to be getting anywhere. But I can see some type of confidence within the Hedgehog where I think that they still want to continue going on this journey. Sorry, just moving the cards a little bit. even though things may not be turning out for them. And the way that they're approaching the gray squirrel with the Five of Pentacles, I can sense some type of loss where maybe the gray squirrel has not been spending a lot of time on the hedgehog, and they feel like, and the hedgehog feels like the gray squirrel needs to spend more time with them or feels left out of their life. Or maybe the hedgehog is having a little bit of struggles when it comes to finances or how they feel about the money they have in their lives. Maybe the hedgehog is kind of stressed out about that type of matter, and that's kind of what they're bringing to the table. But I see that the hedgehog, with the Two of Cups there, I feel like the hedgehog is very loving and very kind as a person, and does have this sense of self-confidence and determination. Even though they're bringing about this kind of sad, upset energy, I feel like things may just be kind of going well for them in general on their self-growth journey, at least. Alright, so for the squirrel, I got the Eight of Pentacles reverse. Sometimes I blink out. Okay. And then keep going and see what else we get for the gray squirrel. We got the Two of Pentacles. And we have the Ten of Cups. Okay, and now we're gonna see what the gray squirrel is presenting to the hedgehog at this current moment. We got the Seven of Swords. Okay, so interestingly enough, I can see that the gray squirrel, especially with the gray squirrel's card being find new ways to solve problems, there's something that's not necessarily working out in the gray squirrel's life with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry. I'm trying to get these cards to, like, stay where they're supposed to. Okay. I feel like there's something that hasn't been working out for the gray squirrel in their life where it comes to, like, financial matters or projects when it comes to work. But, sorry, I had to fix the camera angle really quick. It was bothering me. Alright, back to what I was saying. I feel like the gray squirrel is having a little bit of a trouble getting things done that they aren't really used to, because I feel like there's a lot on their plate right now that they don't really know how to handle or don't know how to deal with. So even though they are very emotionally fulfilled for some reason, they may enjoy being busy or having a lot of projects to take on or a lot of things to care about. They may have a couple love interests as well because of their lack of inspiration. I can see that this gray squirrel may be looking for a muse when it comes to love, or they may have a couple other people that they're interested in besides the hedgehog, and maybe this is why the hedgehog is giving this Five of Pentacles vibe to the gray squirrel, because the hedgehog probably feels left out from all that's going on in the squirrel's life right now, because the squirrel is kind of giving off like shady vibes, you know. The way this card always looks like somebody plotting on another person's downfall is kind of what I think when I see this. These two people's energy is being matched in a very unhealthy way. The hedgehog is just kind of really upset and almost begging the squirrel for more, while the squirrel is refusing to give the hedgehog more of what they're asking for, I think for a personal agenda. Either the hedgehog does not deserve all of the things that the squirrel's going through, or all of the things that are going on in the squirrel's life is maybe they're realizing that the hedgehog will not solve their problems because they may have gone to the hedgehog with these problems before and nothing really helped, or the hedgehog didn't really fix anything for them. So the gray squirrel is deciding to do it on their own and take on all of this themselves and keep their happiness to themselves, and are deciding that maybe now is not the time to share it with the hedgehog. If you two are in a relationship currently, I can sense that there is love between the two of you, even though I feel like there may have been an issue or something about the other where there is this, the energy that's being put out right now is kind of like very back and forth and snip and snap, and one person seems to be like hitting below the belt, while the other person just seems to be hurt all the time by this, even though it doesn't seem to be truly affecting the hedgehog deep down. I feel like they refuse to give up on it. They refuse to stop trying when it comes to the squirrel, even if the squirrel is kind of being shady or manipulative or a little bit secretive or tricky when it comes to the hedgehog. Maybe their new way of solving problems is by treating the hedgehog in a different way to see if they can get a different outcome out of them. But we will see what happens in the rest of the spread. The next row I'm going to be pulling is the challenges that each person has within the relationship. So I'm going to be doing the hedgehog first. Okay, so we got the High Priestess for the hedgehog. Got the King of Pentacles, or the King of Presents, in this deck. We have the Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Candles in this deck. And now we're going to pull the way that this challenge is being presented to the gray squirrel, and how the hedgehog is either making this known or not making this known. Cards are just falling all over the place. 1 second, I'm just going to reshuffle them. Might get a little loud. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Presents in this deck. Okay, so I think the way the hedgehog is dealing with this and the problems that they're having in the relationship at this moment, I think their main issue right now is maybe they are not paying attention to their intuition. I think they are trying to be very self-sufficient and acting like they don't. The way that they're presenting themselves up here in a way of needing, I feel like deep down, the hedgehog, I think, has a little bit of a pride problem with this King of Wands, and the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Candles, with the Nine of Presents being presented. I think that the hedgehog kind of thinks that at the end of the day, they can figure things out for themselves, and they may not be really truly presenting how the gray squirrel makes them feel on a romantic level. They may be really thinking about things from a different aspect than they need to be thinking of them on. Like, when you're in a relationship, you should be thinking about how that person makes you feel, right? Not what they bring to the table financially. I know that's important as well, but at the end of the day, it's how that person treats you, and if they make you feel loved and special and are kind and trusting and all of those things, right? And I feel like on a forefront of physical possessions, I think that the hedgehog may be a little bit needy in that department, where they may feel like the gray squirrel is not providing them with enough, like, physical time or physical gifts, like money or just investments in general. But when it comes to emotions and the way they feel about this person, or the way they, like, present their need for them in their life, I think that the hedgehog is coming off as very, like, not cold, but very, like, independent when it comes to their feelings. And I feel like the gray squirrel, maybe this is why they have stopped giving this feeling out just freely, because they may be too busy for this in the first place. But I think that the gray squirrel has noticed some type of flip-flop in the way that the hedgehog thinks about, like, the hedgehog is putting too much importance on the wrong thing, and it needs to be focused more on their emotional feelings towards the gray squirrel and not what the gray squirrel can just give to them physically. Okay, so now I'm going to get the challenge that the gray squirrel has in this relationship. We have the Hanged Man. All this came out at once. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Seven of Candles. Sorry, I'm bad at Roman numerals, so I still kind of have to count. Seven of Wands. And we have the Ten of Wands, so 10 of Candles in this deck. All right, and now we're going to pick a card for how they're presenting these challenges to the Hedgehog. We have the Star, which is one of the cards I like the most in this deck. I think it's cute. So, okay, I feel like the squirrel right now, their main problem is they're kind of in this mental limbo when it comes to this relationship. I think that they're a little bit confused, first of all, of how the Hedgehog is presenting themselves on the forefront and the problems the Hedgehog really has. And I think that the gray squirrel may be aware of this and are bringing some type of hope and like inspiration. I think they really are trying to help at the end of the day, even if they may come across as kind of a, like, they may be trying to help the Hedgehog in a way the Hedgehog is not used to. We could put it in this way. Maybe the Hedgehog is someone who likes to borrow money or needs money quite a bit, and the gray squirrel is somebody who always has money and always has the funding to help the Hedgehog out. And maybe the gray squirrel has realized that the Hedgehog is kind of sucking them dry in a way. So the gray squirrel kind of pulled back their finances in hopes that the Hedgehog would learn their lesson and being able to express their feelings without demanding some type of like payment, if that makes any sense. And I think that the gray squirrel at the end of the day is really trying to help the Hedgehog, because I feel like the Hedgehog is putting a lot of stress and pressure on this person when it comes to making them feel whole and important and like completing their life in a sense, especially financially. And if that's not applying, let's go with like gifts of time and spending time, because I feel like that's a big one. Maybe the Hedgehog was demanding too much of the gray squirrel, because the gray squirrel has a lot going on for themselves as well. I think that with all the things that are keeping them busy, they are very stressed out and at a point in their life now where they're kind of waiting for things to happen versus pushing things to happen, because they can't figure out how to solve this problem, but they really want to at the end of the day. The gray squirrel seems to be very progressive in their way of moving forward in this situation. The way that we're going down the reading now is, it's interesting how this is turning out, I think, because I see both people being in the right, and I see both people kind of learning a different type of lesson from this interaction. So now we're going to get a future spread for both of these people. We got the Three of Pentacles right away for the Hedgehog. We'll just put that there. Oh, you can't really see it. I can't really get the camera angle right today for some reason, so my bad. I'm not going to pause it and fix it again. Okay. And this is what's going to be happening for both parties in the future in regards to each other. Or not in regards to each other. It's all depending on how the cards read. And we have the Page of Wands, Three of Wands, and now we're going to pull how the energy that the Hedgehog is giving to the squirrel in the future. We got the World. Okay. So right away, I can see some change in attitude. I can see the Hedgehog maybe realizing that this was an issue, and I can see them starting to work together with the gray squirrel more, or starting to really put their money where their mouth is. I know that sounds strange, but I think that the Hedgehog realizes they demand a lot from the gray squirrel, and I think that they want to improve on that aspect, but they have the best interest of this relationship at heart at the end of the day. I really do see that, because I see a lot of passion and love for this person, but I also see a lot of demands of things that aren't reasonable. But I feel like if the Hedgehog keeps going on this self-realization path and really thinking to themselves like what they want and and they can see that the gray squirrel is someone they want to keep around, so maybe they come to the conclusion and they want to like make things right or end this way of being within themselves or end this cycle in the relationship that keeps happening. That's what I can see from the hedgehog side. But we're going to go into the gray squirrel first before I continue talking about the spread. We have the King of Swords reversed for the gray squirrel so far. We have the Moon. Last card, we have the Seven of Cups. And now, the energy that the gray squirrel will be giving to the hedgehog in the future, we have the Hermit. Ooh. Now I'm going to pull 2 more cards for the future, one for the gray squirrel first, and then one for the hedgehog, just to get one last final bit of insight. So for the gray squirrel, we have the Knight of Cups. Whoops. And for the hedgehog, I got a couple, but I'll just pull the top one because I think that's the one it is. The below the deck is the King of Wands and the Six of Cups, but we also have the 10 of Cups for the hedgehog because it feels right. Okay, so for the gray squirrel, I can see, and this is what's interesting about this side, I feel like the gray squirrel may be in the future a little bit, when I say overwhelmed, I can see it being overwhelming, all of the things they have on their plate, but I have a feeling that they're coming to a conclusion that they have to make a choice soon, what matters to them, what needs to be kept in their life, and what doesn't. And I feel like they're going to be cutting people off, not necessarily people, but cutting things and situations and people maybe off left and right based on their intuition, but their judgment could be a little bit cloudy right now due to outside effects or efforts or their environment in general. Maybe they aren't living a very healthy lifestyle at this moment, but at the end of the day, though, I can really see that the squirrel is taking some type of responsibility for their feelings, and I feel like they're gonna come to the hedgehog in the future with some type of like, reconciliation may be the right word, but I'm also thinking like recollection of what they have learned over the course of time. I think that maybe the gray squirrel will confide in the hedgehog and tell them what they were doing and why they were acting this way in the past with some type of romantic offer in general that will be accepted graciously, by the way. I feel like the hedgehog has a lot of love for this person, even if they have some other things to work on. But I think the gray squirrel is going to be presenting this information to them in a loving, caring way, but the Hermit is like a card of like meditation and learning information with themselves and things like of that nature. But I think that the gray squirrel is communicating some type of either stress about the problem, and it may come off a little bit harsh or come from a place of frustration or like extreme decisiveness. Like the gray squirrel may just all of a sudden decide to like, this is an example. The gray squirrel may all of a sudden decide to like quit their job. And the way that they tell the hedgehog that they quit their job because of like the stress it was putting on them, they knew it was the right thing to do. Their decision making may have been a little bit faltered because of like all this stuff going on, but they're explaining why they did this to the hedgehog with a like, I did this because I love you and I want to spend more time with you, but I learned that I can't have all of these things on my plate and still be able to be happy and healthy with you, and I need you to stop demanding so much of me because I can't provide the way I used to, maybe, or something like that, something along those lines. I can see the gray squirrel coming at them very tactically, but also like not like I keep saying romantically, but like with feelings attached as well. It's coming from a loving place. We do have the 10 of Cups in here. We have the 10 of Cups over here. So I can sense a lot of love between the two of you, but you may be going through a little bit of a rough patch because of the things you're requesting from each other, or the way that you're dealing with that situation of equal give and take, or some type of stress involving each other's personal issues. That's what I feel like is kind of holding you back right now from getting in touch and communicating with each other. The hedgehog needs to be understanding of the gray squirrel in this time, and I feel like the gray squirrel maybe needs to stop being as cold to the hedgehog and explain why they're doing this or why they feel this way, especially if the hedgehog has wronged them in the past in a situation they still haven't talked about. But yeah, okay, so there's my romance spread for you guys. I hope that resonated at least a little bit or provided some insight. And now I am going to do a intuitive spread. It is 5 cards and it is just in a random format. This could come as advice, a sign, a warning, like something you've been waiting to hear, random insight, such and such. And it's just going to be what I first think of when I see the spread. These tend to not be super long because I know exactly what the message is when I look at it. Or maybe there's like 2 when I say them real quick and that's that. But usually it's like a direct message from Spirit. A DM from Spirit. That's what this is. Okay, so what does Taurus, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising people need to know in the week of the February 14th to the 20th, 2021? Okay, we got the Queen of Wands, got the 3 of Wands, or 3 of Fire, Queen of Fire in this deck. Have the Knight of Cups, two more, the Ace of Cups, ooh, and we have the King of Fire, or the King of Wands. Very interesting. Okay, right off the bat, I see the Queen and the King of Fire on the table. I can see a match between you and another person. This may not be a person, okay, this may come as a shock to you. This may not be a person you were originally aware of in the first place, or it could be, you know. If it's somebody new you have just started talking to, I see a very good dynamic, like, power couple between the two of you. A lot of fire, passionate energy, ideas bouncing back and forth, confidence just radiating from the both of you. And you probably look really good together as well. But I can also see a new love and, like, intense romantic, like, connections happening, and it's a very promising endeavor. That's all I'm getting. And if this is a partner that you're with right now, then just see this new fiery energy pop up in the future. New romantic love messages, like things that you were not expecting, and it's going to like continue on this way. And if this doesn't resonate with anyone you know, you are going to find this connection within the most random, unexpected person. That's what I got just looking at it originally, especially when this popped out. I think this guy right here, if you're a woman and you're interested in men, this guy is going to shock you who it is. It could be a random coworker, it could be an old friend, or it could just be some random dude who messages you, like, or just pops in your inbox, and you'd be like, oh, you know, I never considered you as a possibility, but this is actually working out really well. So I can see that too for you guys. That was like a really good one as well. Very optimistic. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a closing message from Spirit. Sorry, my voice is a little rough. Been talking all day, so sorry about that. But here's the closing message from Spirit to Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people. What does Spirit want you to know? Earth School is the card I got, and it's life lessons, soul growth, and higher learning. Okay, and then we're going to pull one from the Moonology deck. What advice does Taurus need to hear? Closing out this reading, we have Surrender to the Divine, which is the full moon card. Okay, so right now I think Spirit wants you to really take a dive into something you're interested in and pursue this passion with a quickness, and with some type of desire, because I think Spirit is recognizing that you guys may be getting a little bit, what's the right word? Not bored with what's going on, but I feel like you're just interested in exploring new options, because there's plenty of things to do on this planet and plenty of things to explore and learn. And I feel like Spirit is recognizing your curiosity in new things. And I feel like that was something given to you from them, where they're asking you to just kind of jump into it full force, even if it's something you may feel a little bit unsure about. Maybe it's a random passion or hobby that like other people don't like, or maybe you don't think would be interesting, or not interesting, but useful in your everyday life or for you in the future. Spirit is telling you that there is something that you really need to put your focus into. And if you're being called to study spirituality, definitely do so, because that is another way I look at this card, is that we are all like spiritual beings that were put onto this planet to learn earth lessons and deal with earthly problems. So I feel like if you're trying to reconnect with that side of yourself, I would highly recommend starting by just picking up a book about like astrology, tarot, any type of spiritual, like even if you're like religious in like a Christian format or like a Muslim format or something of that kind, going back into like old textbooks or the Bible or like the Quran or things like that. Hopefully I said that word right. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but things like that, going into it and restudying may be your best option right now, because it is a time for you guys to learn some important information, even if it feels a little bit pointless or strange or out of nowhere. I feel like that's what Spirit's trying to tell you. So all right, thank you very much for tuning into this reading. I hope you guys resonated with it at least a little bit and at least enjoyed it as much as I did doing it for you guys. I will be back with more readings in the future, and I hope you guys have a good week and that this comes at you at a good place and a good time, and I will see you next time, hopefully. All right, so bye.